I spoke to the Opposition Leader, Will Hodgman, about the extraordinary events this afternoon. Will Hodgman, thanks for joining us. Is it time to go to an election?
Well, look, the many people in the community are asking me that very same question. As I travel around the state, people are wondering where on earth this government is taking us. The real question's for Mr McKim. How long is he prepared and his party to prop up a government that is simply not able to deliver at a time when we need strong leadership? It's not being shown by this government.
Well, you say that this government's falling apart. Are you prepared to rethink and approach the Greens?
Look, in our view, what Tasmania needs is strong, stable government. This arrangement that was struck just a year ago has not delivered the political stability that was promised. There's been 3 senior government ministers jump ship in the last 6 months. And as a result, in my view, we now not only have a situation where our state's economy and our state's budget is in crisis, but we have a government in crisis. My commitment to the people of Tasmania is that we will propose a strong alternative. We will appraise and scrutinise the operations and the performance of this government very strongly, but also we will present a strong alternative for the people of Tasmania.
Well, you say people are telling you that there should be another election. Are you of that view?
Look, I believe Tasmanians are becoming increasingly frustrated, as I am. In my view, we are not being well led. We've got a government that's totally distracted. It's only interested in itself. I've been travelling the state talking to Tasmanians about boosting our economy and creating jobs and keeping the cost of living down. But for the entire week, Lara Giddings has been sitting in her office wondering what to do next.
Well, the only way for there to be a change without going to an election is for you to rethink, to go back on your previous statements and, in fact, to approach the Greens and approach the Greens leader, Nick McKim. Will you rethink your previous stance? David Cameron's done it in the UK.
Well, the fact of the matter is that the Greens are very much part of this government. I don't have any more confidence in them and their capacity to lead us through this difficult period than I do the Labor members. We've seen today, though, that the Greens' influence in government is increasing. We've seen that in many respects it's the Greens who are dictating government policy. Now, that's not, in my view, in the best interests of the state when we need strong leadership. We need a clear plan for our economy. We've got our priorities, the economy, jobs, cost of living. Those issues, in my view, are where a government should be focusing, but we've still got a government that's not yet produced an economic development plan, that's still not yet articulated how we're going to get through this budget crisis that they've put us into, a government that, as I say, is increasingly focusing on itself. They're spending more time worrying about their own political self-preservation than they are the interests of Tasmanians. Now, at the end of the day, whether or not there is an election, that can only be determined by one person and one person only, and that's Premier Giddings. Or indeed, it may be that we get to a point in time where the Greens themselves say that they're not prepared to prop up a government that is failing Tasmania.
Would the situation be any different if you were in power, though? I mean, you yourself have no ministerial experience, nor anyone on your benches.
Well, what we have shown, in my view, is that we are a stable, unified political force. We have very strong policies which go to the heart of boosting our economic development and creating jobs and keeping the cost of living down. We're approaching opposition in a productive and constructive fashion. We are proposing from opposition and have introduced legislation to achieve those objectives. We have a very positive vision for the state. What we're not seeing, though, is a government that's able to actually deliver. We're not seeing a government that's stable. We're not seeing the political certainty that was promised this time last year. And as a result, people's confidence in this government, the business community's confidence in the government and its policies is decreasing. And that's not good enough. Tasmania deserves better.
An interesting week ahead in Parliament next week. Will Hodgman, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Airlie.